Welcome to our sweet home life. Old Mojo here working on this 2003 Chevrolet 1500 4.8 V8 alternator replacement. My alternator went bad. The light kept blinking off and on, so I took it down to my O'Reilly's Auto Parts and I had them check it for me, and sure enough the alternator was bad. This alternator is AC Delco remanufactured. The original was over $300. This one costed me $181 with a core exchange out the door. That's out the door price, and that's local taxes and everything. So I figured with further testing, they could not test the diode, but an electrical shop, alternator shop, probably could test that diode, and I know for a fact that those diodes can be replaced, and most everything in here is replaceable. So you could probably save maybe $100 if you had that diode checked and you knew that that's what the problem was. So in your neighborhood there may be an alternator starter shop, so you might want to take your alternator down there before you opt to do that, to buy a replacement. But anyway, these things have really went up in price, guys. So this is basically for the guys here on my channel, and I hope that I get good service out of it. But this truck has about 180,000 on it, so it's been a good one. And this, by the way, is 145 amp. So let's get this thing started, guys. First thing you want to do is disconnect your battery cables. Very first thing you want to do. And then you want to take your throttle body piping off and get it out of your way. So that gets you to this point. Then you want to take your serpentine belt. It takes a little wrench in that hex there in this particular vehicle, and you can pull this thing up and slip that off of that alternator. Then you want to disconnect your screws, your bolts out of that bracket there, guys. And that's fairly easy to do. Don't remember exactly what the nut size is on those, but you know they're common size. Everybody has those in their repertory. So now we're going to get ready to put it back in. Guys, if you're watching this video, try to watch some of our other videos. Maybe you go to our channel. We have a lot of how-to videos on our channel. Okay, I've got this alternator set down in the groove there. Got the bolts that came with it. They'll align the first one up on the inside. I don't guess it matters, but it's a little easier. And you're a little bit tight in there. This one will actually work better. A little tight fit. You need to bump around on that thing, do it very gently. Get that bolt started. it does take a particular vehicle takes a 15 millimeter. Started in there a few rounds. Then we're going with this next one. That's the reason you don't want to put it in tight. You want a little bit of play in it where you can work that other bolt in there. See, this one's quite a bit looser than that one. But anyway, guys, I was going to say, our Sweet Home Life, you're watching our Sweet Home Life. And go on our channel, if you would, and subscribe, because we need some subscribers. We have a lot of how-to videos on there. And we got some lawnmower videos, working on lawnmower. We got some Jeep videos. They got things on there you might be interested in. I work on a lot of my own stuff. I don't like to take it to anyone. I work on what I can. And this kind of stuff is relatively something I've done my whole life ever since I've been driving a vehicle. I don't know what the torque setting is on those bolts. So you probably need to look at your manual or your technical data. It tells you the torques on these bolts. I don't feel like I got enough torque on those. Some things I torque, some things I don't torque. But you want to make sure, if you're just starting in mechanical, working on things, that you get a good feel and do what you need to do with specifications. Don't take anything for granted. Make sure you got everything safe when you work on the vehicle also. So let's hook this back cable up. 11 metric. Beg your pardon, guys, I believe it took a 10. Okay, this takes a number 10 nut and socket. Number 10. Make sure that boot goes back on there. Everything's good there. Okay, now we're ready to put that serpentine belt on. So you want to make sure that you put this cable on right, the serpentine belt. Want to make sure it fits in the grooves real nice down there on the bottom, so that everything's aligned. And You don't want to miss your pulleys. The grooves in the pulleys are the main thing. Well, all of it's important, guys. Check that serpentine belt and make sure it's no cracks in it anywhere. You look at the cracks on the back side of it. Make sure they're all in good shape. The last thing I have on here to go around on this serpentine belt is the idler pulley. And you just pull it over to the left and it releases that tension off this idler. I mean this adjustable pulley. Tensioner. Adjustable tensioner, guys, I'm sorry. Nomenclature is not what it used to be. But anyway, put that over underneath the idler pulley. Making sure all your grooves line up on your pulleys. Everything looks good. You don't put that thing on there that's not lined up. Yeah, it looks good, guys. Everything looks real well. So we got that on. Now we'll put our ductwork back on. And this is a little bit. Got to wiggle it on in there and get it down there. Thread it through all the hoops and the holes down through there. So I got it loose on both ends to where I can move it about and turn it and twist it as I need to. When you put this thing up there, you want to make sure it seats really well on everything, because make sure it's up on there real good, just like it came off. Okay, now we want to screw these bolts down on these clamps that we took off earlier for our duct. Those take either a hex nut or they take a flathead screwdriver, one on each end. And if you took any of this other stuff off, you need to put it back on, which you may have to get to your particular vehicle. So I don't know exactly what you're working on, but this is primarily how you do most of these alternator replacements. Don't forget, like I almost did, was that little plug that goes on the back of your alternator over here. It goes down, that snaps into place. So everything is put in place on this. The only thing we got left to do now is hook the battery up. Let me get you over here. Of course, I know I'm probably talking to people who know this, but as a rookie, years ago, I did not know that if you're hooking a battery up, the last one you want to hook up is your ground, because that battery won't spark as long as it doesn't have a ground on it. So hook that one up last. And when you come off with it, you unhook it first. It's hard to get to in there on mine. Always hand screw those bolts and nuts together a little bit. Get those threads started, that way they're not cross-threaded as easily. And by the way, you need to check your fluid level in your battery, make sure it's okay. I just checked this last night when I had problems with it. First thing you want to check is your battery, and then your cables, and then you want to check your battery. You check everything before you go spend that $300 or whatever it is on an alternator. And by the way, it's important that you maintain these cables too. Underneath there, if there's any rust, keep that rust out, because it will draw, make that battery not get good connection. And it will eventually, I think it could eventually kill that battery. It doesn't charge back up. I hear it beeping inside, so I know I got the battery, got some power in the battery. It just so happens, that's it, but it just so happens to make sure I got enough voltage on that battery. I'm going to check my voltage on the battery and see what I got. .3 volts. And if you're inside, make sure you open the garage door wide open, guys. A lot of people I know. There's a guy locally. He got killed several years ago by working on a vehicle indoors, and he got carbon monoxide poisoning. So he was actually a really good guy. Don't let that happen to you. Make sure you got plenty of ventilation if you're working indoors on a vehicle. Success, guys. We got 14 volts. So I want to shut it off and tell you it looks like it's going to be a winner on this one. Our Sweet Home Life, and I'm Mojo. So make sure you look for our other how-to videos, guys. We do a lot of stuff around here. It's just the way we are. Thanks for watching, guys, and subscribe, and give me a thumbs up if I was any help to you on this video. Thanks, guys.